Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing well. This is Sakshi Saxena, GDSE Technical Team Member and your Google Cloud Facilitator. I welcome you all to our first Cloud Study Jam for the 30 days of Google Cloud program. Let us see what is our session agenda for today. We will be learning about scope and opportunities of Google Cloud, introduction to the 30 days of Google Cloud program, the campaign schedule, then the platform setup and hands-on session. I'll be telling you on how to earn your rewards, and lastly we'll come on to the route sessions. As we all know that Google Cloud is a booming technology these days, and the IT companies across the globe are shifting their traditional infrastructure to the cloud. So that shift is generating a higher demand for the cloud engineers. Now, with the help of this training, you will learn the foundation concepts of Google Cloud and develop interest in concepts like machine learning and artificial intelligence. Using the resources which will be provided to you, you can learn about GCP services and become eligible for such positions. Cloud technology is now mainstream, with enterprise spending on cloud-based offerings growing faster than spreading on traditional IT offerings. This recent increase in cloud adoption has resulted in a corresponding increase in the need for workers skilled in cloud technologies. Nearly 80% of worldwide IT departments report a skills gap in cloud-ready talent, and another 50% report that they are struggling to hire skilled professionals. University students today are primed to fill this gap between, and we are here to help you prepare them. Now, the introduction to the 30 days of Google Cloud program. Unlock your benefits in the 30 days. You'll be gaining hands-on experience where you will be learning real-world skills on the Google Cloud Console using Qwiklabs. You'll prove your in-demand skills while taking the challenge lab at the end and prove that you have the required skills. You can also share your accomplishments and skill badges with your network on your resume. The contents of the program includes two tracks. Track 1, the Cloud Engineering track, and Track 2, the Data Science and Machine Learning track. The Track 1, for the first track we have in the program is the Google Cloud Engineering track. By completing the quest under the Cloud Engineering track, you will learn to explore and deploy solution elements, including infrastructure components such as networks, systems, and application services. We have a total of 6 quests under this track that will be covered through training sessions. Let's take a look at the next track. For track 2, we have Data Science and Machine Learning track. By completing the quest in this track, you will learn and demonstrate proficiency in key topics related to big data and machine learning to prepare for roles such as data analyst, marketing analyst, business intelligence professional, and data engineer. This track also consists of 6 quests. I'm sure you are curious to know about the campaign timelines and training schedules. Worry not, you hear more about it in the slides ahead. Now, what are Google Cloud skill badges and how can you earn them? A skill badge is an exclusive digital Google Cloud skill badge that demonstrates your Google Cloud recognized skill set. You can earn them by completing the labs that have been mentioned in the track. Now, let's come to the campaign schedule. The timelines of the program are the registrations that have ended up now were started on 22nd of September. The timeline for the program is from 27th to 27th of October. The drive completes on the 27th of October for you to be eligible for your rewards. Congratulations again for being a part of the 30 days of Google Cloud program. I hope you all are excited for the 30 days of learning, building, sharing, and growing. I hope you all must have received your confirmation mail by now and are ready to start your cloud journey with us. I know you all are curious to know how can we redeem our credits. So, for that we have Ananya Di, who is going to guide you on how to redeem your credit points. Over to you, Di.
Hey everyone, so here we are. We need to first retrieve the credit points to start with the 30 days of Google Cloud program. And for that, you all have to navigate to your particular email IDs from which you had registered for this 30 days of Google Cloud program. You all might have received an email from Google Cloud Edu stating that you are enrolled in 30 days of Google Cloud program, and there might be some steps that you couldn't figure out earlier. So we are here to help you out with it and to gain the credit points. Then we'll move with the first hands-on lab. So you'll get the hang of how you should perform the labs, what is required to be done, what is the time foundation, and what are the required prerequisites that you must have before starting the lab, okay? So let's start with this email. If you haven't received this email in your primary inbox, please check your spam folders because sometimes this email lands in your spam folders, okay? So go check it out and find this email, okay? Now, below we are provided with few instructions, so we'll follow them and we'll retrieve our credit points. So the first instruction states that we need to open an incognito window on our browser, okay? So I'll go to the right hand side top three dots panel and click on new incognito window, okay? This is the incognito mode, okay? Now what is the next step? The next step is to go to this link. I will right click on this link and I'll copy the link address. I will go to this incognito window and I'll paste it over here, okay? Clicking enter, I have reached this section where it's asking for my code. So what is this code? Let's go back. Okay, so the third step here suggests that second step here suggests that we have to go to this link and put this unique access code. So this is a unique access code, okay? No two codes are similar and you cannot share this code with anyone because this code works for once, okay? So for one account, this is a single unique code for every single account, okay? So you cannot share it and you have to use it for your account only, okay? So copy this unique code and paste it in your incognito window, your code pop up, okay? And then click on I'm not a robot. Here what you need to do is you have to solve a simple puzzle, whatever question is asked. So to solve it and then click next. Then verify. Okay, after verification, you can click on submit. And yes, I think we are done. So the next step here suggests that just a second. The next step here suggests that we need to sign into our Qwiklabs account, okay? So for that, you will have to navigate to this particular link I will help you out with it. Click on type www.qwiklabs.com. Okay, so you will reach this website, that is qwiklabs.com, and on the right hand side on top you have your account. Okay, so click on it, click on your icon, and when you'll receive the credit points, your credit points will be shown over here. Here I have 0 credits for now because I have done it just now. So after 10 to 15 minutes when I'll come back, I'll be able to see a few points over there. So those points will be, I think, approximately 9 points we'll be getting. If you do not get the credit points after spending few minutes, you can repeat all these steps that we did just now, okay, in order to get your credit points. Okay, so this was all to retrieve the credit points. Once you see here 9 credit points, you can start with your first Qwiklabs lab, that is a tour of Qwiklabs and Google Cloud. I would like to hand over to Sakshi to let you start with your first lab. And yeah, if you are wondering where you'll be getting all the labs and the syllabus related to your track, so just navigate to GDSC's link tree. And here, the first tab, click on it. It will lead you to this Google Cloud page where in the program syllabus section, we have all the tracks, the skill badges listed, which is the particular syllabus, which is the amount of content that you need to cover in this particular program. If you have chosen only one track, then you need to complete all the skill badges of that particular track. And if you'd like to complete both the tracks, then you can complete both the tracks, but you have to complete all the skill badges of both the tracks, right? By the end of this week, please make sure to complete one skill badge, that is the first one of either of the tracks that you have chosen. If you have chosen cloud engineering, then the first skill badge will be this, getting started, create and manage cloud resources. Click on it, and here you must see a number of labs that are needed to be done in this particular skill batch. Okay, so in this week you need to complete all these labs. Okay, and if you face any issue, you can write your issues in a Google form that will be circulated today evening in the doubt session of Google Cloud Jam. Okay, so there you can write your queries within this week, and those queries will be taken up next week in the doubt session in the evening. Okay, for now, Sakshi will be taking up this lab, a tour of Qwiklabs and Google Cloud, and will be explaining you what are the insights, what is this timer, and how you should start with your first lab so that you will be able to conduct all the next labs that are in this skill badge by yourself. Okay, so over to you, Sakshi. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Ananadi, for explaining everything in detail. Now we shall move on to the next step, that is to complete a tour of Qwiklabs and Google Cloud so that you get a monthly subscription which will be required for you to complete the tracks within the given timeline. So let's see how you can get your monthly subscription.
Okay, so let's start with our very first lab, that is a tour of Qwiklabs and Google Cloud. You might be wondering where you will be getting the access to these labs. So let's navigate to the Linktree link, that is this link, https://linktree.ee /GDSC underscore Banasthali underscore Vidyapith. You can find it on our IG bio, and also on our LinkedIn platform, in the 30 Days of Google Cloud post, and in the description of this YouTube video. Okay, so click on the first tab. Here you can see all the other tabs mentioned. This is the Google Cloud website. Click on the third tab. There you can see both of our tracks, the cloud engineering track and the data science and machine learning track. So you can perform either one track or both of these, but you have to complete all the skill badges of the track you are choosing. Okay, so if you would like to, today we'll be going through the skill badge of this cloud engineering track because the first lab is same in both the tracks. Getting started, create and manage cloud resources, and here also you'll get a skill badge that is the same, create and manage cloud resources. So we'll click on this first skill badge. Now here you can see that this skill badge requires 14 credits. Now you might be wondering that you have only 9 credits in your account yet. So after performing the first lab, you will get access to the 1-month credit point subscription, where you'll be getting few more credit points to complete your skill badges. Okay. Now, first of all, I would like to enroll in the on-demand quest. If you have already signed in, you would not have to do this thing. So the first lab will be a tour of Qwiklabs and Google Cloud. Here in the skill badge, create and manage cloud resources, you can see in the bottom, the first lab is a tour of Qwiklabs and Google Cloud. So when you perform this lab, you will get a green tick every time you perform a lab. Okay, you can see that how much time does this lab requires. It requires 30 minutes and it's free. It does not require any credit points. Okay, so first, when you click on this lab, you'll reach a documentation. So on the right hand side, you can see all the listings of this documentation. You have to read this documentation carefully in order to understand what needs to be done in the lab. And you have to perform the same actions in the lab. Okay. On the left hand side, you can see that there is a timer that suggests a timer point of 45 minutes. So you need to perform this lab within this time frame. If the time frame exceeds this 45 minutes duration, your lab will be lost. Okay, your data will be lost. You will need to do the lab again, and your credit points will also get lost. So you'll have to pay again, pay the credit points again, and you have to do the lab again. Okay, so this is the concept. So once you click on start lab, this timer starts ticking and you need to perform all the steps that are mentioned in this documentation. Okay, read them carefully. These are to acquaint you with the GCP platform. What are these buttons? What are credit points? What is the UI of the platform, the GCP platform, and what are the services that GCP platform provides to the users. Okay, so let's start with the lab. If you have logged in, check it here that you must be logged in. If you are logged in, then you can click on this Start Lab button. Okay, first of all, let's read a little bit about Google Cloud platform. Okay, so Google Cloud is a suite of Google Cloud services hosted on Google's infrastructure. Okay, so it provides various services like storage, analytics, machine learning, networking, and much more. So this lab is oriented to provide you the access to the Qwiklabs platform, identify its features, and then read about these services and what is Google Cloud Console, how to access it, and navigate through the menu of GCP, get to know about IAM and how to use the commands of G-Cloud Toolkit, what is API library, and how to run these commands, touch, nano, cat, and what do they do. Okay, prerequisites are these. If you have done them, then it's totally fine. If you haven't, then also it's totally fine. All the steps are suggested over here. So the first thing is Qwiklabs fundamental. So this platform that we are over here, the platform that we are running right now is the Qwiklabs platform. So it has different features. That few of the features I described you just now. The features include start button that I showed you just now, that when you click on the start button, a temporary Google Cloud environment is set up on which you have to conduct all the services using the credentials that has been provided to you. And the credentials are also temporary. For every time you start another lab, you will be provided with different credentials. Okay, you might be wondering what are these credentials, but once I start the lab, I'll let you know about them. Okay, these are generally username, email ID, and password. Now, the second thing is credit. So take credit as money. So 1 credit is equivalent to $1. Every lab has some credit points to start with. I showed you earlier that this lab is free. This lab does not require any credit points. So you do not need to, redeem any credit points from your account. Okay. The next thing is time. So I told you that you are provided with a 45 minutes timer here for this lab. Every lab has different timers set. So once the timer reaches 000, then your temporary Google environment is deleted. Okay. Now the last thing is scores. So many labs includes scores. Okay. So once you perform a particular feature on GCP platform, okay, once you perform a particular step that is shown in this documentation on the GCP platform, you will be provided with few scores. Okay, so your lab is considered to be complete when you achieve a score point of 100. Okay, now paying for labs. So you do not need to buy any credits for this 30 days of Google Cloud program. You can leave it here. Then the last thing is test your understanding. So in each lab, in the documentation here, you are provided with few questions, multiple choice questions. So you have to solve these questions while going down in this lab and performing the actions on GCP platform. Okay, if you do not perform these MCQs, then your performance is not counted. Okay, so you need to complete these also within the given time frame. Once we'll start, we'll do the step-by-step understanding of these questions and we'll solve them. Okay. Now the next thing is accessing the Cloud Console. Okay, so we can start with the lab now. So start the lab. Once I click, you all can follow me up. Okay, right now. So click on Start Lab. Once you click on Start Lab, the lab starts generating your temporary environment and you'll be provided with few credentials. Okay, so the credentials that I was talking about are these: username, password, and GCP project ID. So these are unique details. You cannot share it with anyone and this will work for once. So after getting this, you click on Open Google Console. So you will reach a page like this where email has already been put up. Okay, so you do not need to change it. Don't alter it. Keep this as it is and click next. Okay. Now here it wants your password. So go back to your tour of Qwiklabs and Google Cloud Lab and click and copy this password that has been provided to you. Okay. Once you copy it, go back to this pop-up and paste your password. Okay. Once you have done pasting your password, click next. All right. Yeah. So when you have clicked next, you have finally reached the GCP platform, right? Here you can do multiple things. So there might be a pop-up that might be asking you about your region, that is country, that is India, and you'll need to accept a few details. Okay. If you do not, then you can follow up. So once reaching this platform, you will see several things over here. Okay. So you might be confused, like what are these things and what is resources, what is API and services, what is IAM and admin. So these all things that you are looking on the left hand side panel are the things that are the services provided by GCP, okay, Google Cloud Platform. So here you can do multiple things on this platform and these are all listed over here. Right, so let's go back to our lab and first complete the first test your understanding question and answers. So this builds a temporary environment in Google Cloud. I just described that what button will start your temporary environment, right? And it's the start button. Click on it, click submit. Okay, you can have multiple chances to answer. It does not matter and your points are not lost. Okay, you can answer multiple times, okay, if you get wrong answer. So when the timer reaches 00, you will lose access to your temporary Google Cloud environment. Yes. Some labs have tracking which scores your completion on hands-on activities, right? Some labs have scores. Okay, your lab is complete only when you have reached a score of 100. Okay, in order to receive completion credit for a lab that has tracking, you must complete the required hands-on activities. Yes, you must complete all the activities listed in the documentation over the GCP platform. Okay, so we have completed all these test your understanding questions. Now let's get back. So we have also logged in and opened the console. We have just logged in. Okay, connection details pane. We have done that. Then we opened the Google console, right? Then we pasted the, okay, so we got all these things done. Okay, and we reached this GCP platform. Okay, so we are done till this part. Now, the next comes is test your understanding. Now, which field is not found in the left pane? Okay, so what field is not here in the left hand side pane? We have opened Google Cloud Console, we have password, we have project ID, but we do not have system admin, right? Next thing is the username in the left panel, which resembles this, is a cloud IAM identity. Is it your cloud IAM? IAM is identity of administration and management. So is this your IAM identity? I mean, you are going to manage your GCP platform from your this account only, the one that which we use to log in as the email, right? So this is your IAM identity. So click on true and submit. So we have done till this part. The next thing comes is projects in the cloud console. Okay, so where can you go back to the Google Cloud platform, and where can we find the projects? So take it similar to any other platform where you create your projects, right? You create projects in Android Studio, you create projects in Firebase. Okay, so here also you can create your own project according to the services that you are performing over the GCP, services that you are using to perform anything on the GCP. So when you click on this tab on the top uh, beside this Google Cloud Platform title, you can see that when you click on it, you can see a listing of all your projects down here. Okay, so GCP has already created a temporary project for us for this session. So this project has been listed over here. If I click over it, I'll get to know everything about the project. What APIs, what is the stats of the APIs used, what are the resources used, and how I can monitor it. Then I can do more things, and we'll let you know about these things further when we'll perform tasks over the projects. So here on the left hand side, you can see project info, which is providing my project ID, project name, and project number. These are all unique identities. Okay, so this is my project dashboard. Then the next thing is I have the activity. The activities this project takes into the consideration are listed over here, and different actions that can be completed can also be listed over here. So go back to the dashboard. So this was all about the project. You can access the project from the top panel beside the Google Cloud Platform title. Okay, now go back to the lab. Here, view all projects, right? We reached this pop-up and we saw all the projects. Okay, now the next thing is test your understanding. An organizing entity for anything you build with Google Cloud. Okay, so what is the organizing entity that you use to build with Google Cloud? Come on. You must know the answer that when your temporary environment is set up, the Google Cloud Platform has already provided us with a project ID associated, right? So a Google Cloud project is the entity for anything you build with Google Cloud, right? Then the next thing is Qwiklabs resources is shared read-only with all Qwiklabs user, which means that you cannot delete or modify it, right? So these Qwiklabs resources, which we have generally used, is shared with all the Qwiklabs user, right? So that means you cannot delete or modify these Qwiklabs credentials, okay? So click true and click submit. The next thing is Qwiklabs resources is the project where you run all your lab steps. So Qwiklabs resources is not the project where you run all your lab steps, okay? So click on false. The GCP is the GCP project that has been created with a separate project ID is the project where all where the steps are run. So the next thing is navigation menu and services. Okay, so as I told you that here on the left hand side we have a panel like this. Okay, so if I go back and read about this panel, so this GCP console title bar contains a button label 3-line icon, right? And when you click on this icon, you will reach all the services that are provided by GCP, and you can use them from here only. Okay, big data, networking, storage, compute, all those services are done, can be selected and can be accessed for your particular project from here on the left hand side panel only. So what are these services and what do they do? So the first service is compute. Okay, a compute is a variety of machine types that support any type of workload. Okay, so the computing options that you decide how much control you want to do on the operational details and the infrastructure for a particular project. The next thing is storage. So data storage and database options. As we all know that cloud is, the basic platform these days to store the data in large amount. So you can use this GCP for storage and database options of all structured, unstructured, relational, unrelational data. Then we have networking services that balance application traffic and provision security rules, right? Uh, so this networking services help you to balance your traffic that comes to your applications or projects, and apply the security rules that are need to be applied on the application. Then there are cloud operations. So this is a cross cloud login, monitoring, tracing, and different kinds of cloud services that are provided by GCP comes under this particular service category, that is cloud operations. Then we have tools. So different kind of tools are there to help developers to manage the deployment of their applications and to build the pipelines for different applications. So all the DevOps kind of things, kind of services are also provided in this GCP platform for your applications. Then there is big data. So big data is a kind of service that allows you to analyze the large data sets and to process them, okay, on the cloud platform itself. Then we have artificial intelligence, which has a collection of APIs that run specific artificial intelligence or machine learning tasks on GCP. Right, so I'll let you know about the API panel, which has several different amazing APIs that you can use for your applications in GCP. Okay, so this was all about the services that GCP provides. We can go back to GCP platform and we can run through this panel. So we first have compute, then we have 3 services provided over here. We have then serverless, then we have storage services, then we have databases, application integration, networking, operations, CI/CD, tools, big data, artificial intelligence, okay, and other solutions too. So there are so many things in the services. You can go and explore them on GCP platform. Okay, now the next thing is roles and permissions. Okay, so here you have once you have logged into this GCP platform, right, from your temporary ID that has been provided by the Qwiklabs. So you are the admin of the project, the temporary project that is existing over here. So you are the admin, right? You have different roles for yourself. You are the admin. You can edit everything over here. Okay, you can provide different roles to everyone else that needs to want everyone else who want to access your project. So you can assign them roles too. You can make them admin, you can make them editor, okay, you can make them viewer. So there are different roles that you can assign to different people or different users who want to access your project. So the first thing we can see over here is that go to this navigation bar here on the left hand side. Now, when you run down over here, you can see IAM and admin, right? So go for once you see this thing, then you must go for the IAM and admin option, then click on it. Click on IAM and admin option, right? Click over it. So you will reach the IAM page where all the information regarding IAM will be listed. So here you can see that several different email IDs or different IDs have been assigned over here. So if you remember that your ID was this one, student this at the rate Qwiklabs.net, which has been provided by Qwiklabs to you. So the owner over here is not you. The owner is someone else. Okay. And BigQuery admin, owner, and storage admin is also someone else from the Qwiklabs. And you are the third person who has been provided the role of an editor and a viewer, right? So this is the third panel is you. Okay, so you are both editor and the viewer over here. So different role names that you can see under the role category are, there can be viewer role, which is specifically for read-only actions, and you do not affect any state. You cannot modify or change things, right, in the existing resources or data. If you have editor access, then you have all the viewer permissions plus the permission for actions like modify state, change existing resources. So you can do all these things. If you have the role as an owner, then all the editor permissions, all the viewer permissions are provided to you. Plus you can manage roles, like you can provide different roles to different people, different users, and for a project and all the resources within the project. So you can set up billing for a project. You can provide roles to different users if you are the owner. Okay. So we are the editor and we are the viewer. So we can edit different resources, modify them, or we can view them. So these two things have been provided to you uh, uh, when you are, in this temporary project. Okay. So now let's go back to this lab. Here we have done this part. Now here we go for the test your understanding part. The first question is, offers quick access to the platform services and also outlines its offerings. So yeah, so what is this thing that provides you quick access to all the platform services, right? That is, the networking is a service, cloud operation is a service, compute is a service, navigation menu is the thing that provides you access to all these. Okay. The next thing is primitive roles set project level permissions and unless otherwise specified, control access and management to all Google Cloud services, right? So the primitive roles set project level permissions. Okay, so primitive roles means you just have the permissions for your temporary project and you can get access to them, or they can be modified only by the owner. Okay, so the owner of that particular project accesses and manages and changes the rules of different users on this particular project. So you can click yes, true. The next thing is provides all viewer permissions plus permissions for actions to modify state, like change in existing resources. So this is like providing all viewer options plus providing all editor options. So this is an editor role, right? The next thing is APIs and services. Yeah, we discussed a bit about APIs and services previously. So let me show you what is the API offerings that GCP has for you. So what are APIs? What are APIs? So Google APIs are key part of Google Cloud. APIs is nothing but application programming interfaces that we can call directly or via client libraries in our projects or applications. Okay, so cloud APIs are resource oriented designs. Okay, when Qwiklabs provisions a new Google Cloud project for lab instance, it enables most API automatically. So you can quickly start your work with the labs. Okay. When you create your own Google Cloud projects outside of Qwiklabs, you will have to enable certain APIs yourself. So since we have started our lab with Qwiklabs, we are provided with certain APIs already enabled. If we do it from outside any resources, then we'll have to invoke the APIs on our own, right? So the task code is to view available APIs. So go back to your GCP platform, click on this navigation menu, and you can see APIs and services. Click on it. Okay, when you click on APIs and services, it will lead you to this dashboard, which shows like how many APIs you have used and stats related to those APIs. When you come down, you can see several APIs that has been listed over here that can be used by you in this project. Okay, and since we have seen this dashboard area, we can go to the second thing on the left hand side. Click on library. So when you click on library, this is the API library, which has the connection of every Google Cloud API. Okay, so now in this category, you can click here on the search bar and type dialog flow API. Okay, so this API is generally used uh, in Google Cloud Platform applications to allow you to build rich conversational applications for conversational data like Google Assistant, for example. So you do not have to understand any underlying machine learning principles or artificial intelligence or NLP that is used in chatbots or Google Assistant, but you can directly use this API in your application without understanding those deeper parts of machine learning, right? So this is awesome. Like you can use this particular API without even knowing about how does NLP work in the backend, right? So you can use this API and build your own Google Assistant type of applications, or you can embed it to any other application. So yeah, when you reach the Dialogflow API, you can click on it and then click enable. Okay. Once you click enable, it will take like 2 to 3 minutes and you will reach the Dialogflow API overview, right? Okay, so once it's enabled, we are going to try this API. So a new browser tab displays documentation for Dialogflow API. Explore this information. Okay, I think we'll have to go to this library. We'll have to again click on Dialogflow API, right? Click on it. Click on it. Okay, so your API is now enabled. What you can do is click on documentation here. Here you have tutorial and documentation. You can click and open it in a new tab. When you click on it, you will get to know about all the things and key features of this Dialogflow API, right? So you can go and read about what are the different things that Dialogflow provides to you in different applications, how you can use it, okay? What are the operations that can be done, right? So you can read it in the documentation of Dialogflow API. Now, the next thing is come back to your Qwiklabs. We have done till this part and here we are, test your understanding, okay? So when you start a lab in Qwiklabs, you need to enable APIs in your project to start working with Google Cloud. Do you need to enable APIs to start with Google Cloud? No, APIs are additional parts, additional concepts, additional services that you can utilize in your application. Else you can start working in the project without any APIs, right? And you do not need to enable any APIs when you start working on the labs with Qwiklabs because it already provides you few APIs enabled, right? So you will click on false here. The next thing is Cloud Shell. Okay, so let's discuss about what is Cloud Shell. So Cloud Shell is an in-browser command prompt for execution of different commands that led to updation, modification, changes, and processes in the environment, your project environment. That is your temporary project environment, right? So we'll work on this Cloud Shell. First, go back to your project, go back to your project, click on, here you can see on where the cursor is stepped up. So this shows activate Cloud Shell. On the right hand side on top panel, you can see activate Cloud Shell. Click on it. Your Cloud Shell is now enabled, right? So here you will be writing commands for like signing in, for listing all the projects in your environment and for configuring them. Okay, now, okay, so once your shell is set up, now what you need to do is you need to start by writing a simple command, that is gcloud command, gcloud auth list. This will provide you with all the authenticated members in this particular session. So when you click on auth list, you'll have to authorize your credentials with GCP API call. Click on authorize. And yeah, so your account details are provided over here. You are active, and so you have received this output, and this should be received, right? The next thing is you need to perform another simple command that you must have also used earlier in CLI, that is touch test .txt. So we are creating a file test.txt, okay, following the touch command. Okay, the next command that we can try over here is ls. So click here ls. What does ls do? ls lists all the files, all the files in our current directory, right? And the next thing that needs to be done is to edit the file. So how you edit the file? You perform the nano operation. So write, I'll increase the size of this window. So write nano and then test.txt. So we are editing this test.txt file. Okay, so here the empty file is opened. Now you can write anything over here. I would like to write the message Google Cloud and Qwiklabs are the best, right? So this command we just wrote down here on the empty text file. We can click Ctrl X and press Y and then press enter to save this particular statement. So let's press Ctrl X. Once you press Ctrl X, you can see at the bottom that you have two options to decide from, if you'd like to save it or if you do not. So I would like to save this file. I click Y, and then the next thing comes is file name to write test.txt, yes, and then click enter. Okay, so your file has been saved. Okay, the another example that we can perform here is cat operation. Okay, so we need to confirm that our file has been updated securely and completely. So we just test it, cat test.txt, type it and click enter. So you can see that the statement that we mentioned on our test.txt has been shown. So we can confirm that our test.txt was updated by the command nano, right? And this was all about this lab. This lab only needed to show you different commands in Cloud Shell, needed you to acquaint with different services that GCP provides you, and what are the different terms that you will be using in further labs, right? Now, come back to your Qwiklabs and go down. We have performed all these steps right now. Now the thing comes here is ending your lab. So now that you are finished with the lab, click end lab and then click OK to confirm. So we have finished this particular lab. We can just go over here on the left hand side, click on the red button, that is end lab, and our lab has been completed. Submit. Okay. Okay, so we did complete this lab. Okay, we did solve all the MCQs and we performed all the hands-on operations that were listed in this documentation. So this completes our first lab, a tour of Qwiklabs and Google Cloud. You now have earned this badge. Okay, so this is a great start to your 30 days of Google Cloud program. Now that you know about how to start a lab, how to run different commands, how to go step by step through the documentation, you can now start going and doing multiple different labs in this track only, or the track that you have chosen. So the target for this week is to complete one skill batch of the labs that you have chosen, right? If you have chosen both the tracks, then you should complete the first skill batch of both the tracks, which is same, right? So please complete this skill batch 1, which consists of approximately 7 to 8 labs, okay? Please complete it by the end of this week. If you face any doubt, you will be getting a Google form in your WhatsApp group, or in the doubt session in the evening. So you can put all your doubts over there, and next week in the doubt session, all your doubts will be cleared. Okay. Next week we'll meet for another hands-on lab in the morning only at 9 a.m. right? And in the evening, you will be having a doubt session for the same, right? So now I would like to hand over to Sakshi to lead you through the second lab of this particular track so that you get a better understanding about the different concepts like virtual machines and several other concepts. So Sakshi, you can take this up. Thank you, everyone.
So now that you have your monthly subscription, we are ready to start with the rest of the labs. So now, close all the tabs that you have been using up till now and open an incognito window. On that, navigate to this link called Linktree GDSC Banasthali Vidyapith. You'll land up to this page. Then, we'll click on the first tab that says 30 days of Google Cloud Tracks and Syllabus. We'll go then to the program syllabus and start a first track skill batch. Okay, so now that we have moved here, you have completed a tour of Qwiklabs and Google Cloud. Now we shall move ahead with this next lab, that is creating a virtual machine. We'll click on that. So now we are here with the second lab, that is creating a virtual machine. In this lab, you need to complete all the tasks that have been assigned to you over here in order to get all the 100 points that have been mentioned on the top right corner. Otherwise, your lab won't be marked green and you won't get 100 points and you won't be able to move further. So now, let's start the lab and see what it has for us. Click on the green start button where you'll be starting the labs. You need to use a script subscription. You don't have to redeem any of the codes now as you have got your monthly subscription. Now, here it says open Google Console. We'll open it and tap on next to move further. Then it is asking for your password. Go back to the previous tab and copy the password from here. Come back to this tab and paste it here. Then next. Accept the terms and conditions. And finally, you will get to see the Google Cloud Platform. Accept the conditions over here and then agree and continue. Okay, so this is the Google Cloud Platform. This is the navigation area. The blue colored bar is your navigation area. Most of the things you are going to find over here. So let's see what are the next steps that we need to do. So here it is that it tells you that Compute Engine lets you create virtual machines that runs on different operating systems, including multiple flavors of Linux. So now let's see that what we are going to do in this lab. In this hands-on lab, you'll create virtual machine instances of various machine types using the Google Cloud Console and the G-Cloud command line. So now, what is an instance and where do we get that from? So each instance belongs to a Google Cloud Console project and a project can have more than one instance. So when you create an instance in a project, you specify the zone, operating system and machine type of that instance. When you delete an instance, it is removed from the project. So now, what you're going to do is, you'll create a virtual machine with the Google Cloud Console. You'll create a virtual machine with the G-Cloud command line also, and you'll deploy a web server and connect it to a virtual machine. So now that we have already signed in with our temporary credentials, now we'll see what we have to do next. Next, it says the activate your cloud shell. So read here. It says that in the Cloud Console in the top right toolbar, activate the Cloud Shell button. So we'll go back to this tab and activate the Cloud Shell. Until it's activating, let's see what are the next steps. Then it says to continue. We'll click on continue and then go back to read what's next. Now it says you can list the active account name with this command. We'll copy this command and run our very first command in this Cloud Shell. You simply need to copy that and paste it over here and then put enter. You need to click authorize here. Perfect, it works. Now we have got the output same as this. Now we can list our project ID with this command. Similarly, copy this command and see what is our project ID. Copy and paste. So this is what your project ID is. This is what you'll also get in this particular area. You see there's a GCP project ID. This ID and the ID that you have got here is always unique. For all the labs, the credentials are going to be unique. Let's see what we have to do next. So now our task 1 is to create a new instance from the Cloud Console. So in the Google Cloud Console, navigate to the navigation menu and click Compute Engine and VM Instances. So we shall go to the navigation menu. This is your navigation menu on the left hand side. We'll search the Compute Engine and then we'll click on the VM instance. Let's see what you have to do next. Now we need to create an instance by clicking on Create Instance. Okay. We'll click on Create Instance and come back on the previous tab. The name of the instance needs to be Qwiklabs. Copy the instance name and paste it here. Now let's see the next thing. We have to check the region and the zone has to be US Central 1 and US Central 1F respectively. The region is US Central 1 and the zone is also US Central 1F. Moving on. The series is N1 and the machine type is 2V CPU. We'll name the series as N1 and we'll name the machine type as N1 standard 2V CPU. Next, the boot disk has to be Debian GNU Linux 10 Buster. It is already there, we don't have to make any changes. Then we need to allow the HTTP traffic. Come back here, allow, and then it says to click create. Perfect. Now let the instance get created and let's see what we need to do next. To use the SSH, we need to click on the SSH. After the instance has been made by the name Qwiklabs, you'll see something like this and you need to click on SSH to launch the SSH terminal. Wait, this might take a few minutes as per your internet connection. Okay. So now click on SSH and a window will open. Do not close this window. Let it connect to the SSH server. Okay. Now the task 2 is to install an Nginx web server. In the SSH terminal, to get the root access, run the following command. We'll copy this command and go to our SSH server and paste it over here so that we get to the root. Now we are on the root. We'll update our OS. Copy and paste this command. We got this similar output. Now we can move on to the next task. That is to install Nginx. We'll copy and paste it over here. We'll go back and we'll confirm that the Nginx is running. Copy this command and let's see if we get the desired output before running the Nginx command. Okay, we are getting it. We'll simply paste this and let's see what happens. Now we'll click on the external IP to see if we land up to this page that says welcome to Nginx. Okay. So here's the external IP. Let's see. Okay, perfectly. So we have landed up to this page. That means we have done this part. and we are here to check our progress. Let's see if we have gained enough score. So now our assessment has been completed and we have successfully created the compute engine instance and added an Nginx server to that instance with the necessary firewall rules as per directed. So now the next task 3 is to create a new instance with the G-Cloud. So now it says in the G-Cloud shell, use G-Cloud to create a new virtual machine instance from the command line. The command will copy this command and activate the Cloud shell. Your Cloud shell might have been activated previously, but if not, you may continue using the same. Let it connect. Okay, so now we are here. We'll simply paste this command and enter. If it asks you to authorize, just simply authorize it. Okay, so it has been created. We got this expected output. Now we can check our progress. Okay, so we have completed this all the 3 tasks perfectly, and we have got a 100 on 100 score. You can check on the top right corner where it says that we have scored 100 out of 100. That means you are ready and you can move on to the next labs. If you have scored 85 or 75 or 90, something like this below 100, that means you need to make corrections in what you have did, because then you might have landed up some errors, or there's some errors in your procedure that you have been doing. So you need to be very sure that what you do needs to be perfectly correct in order to get 100 points. So now when your assessment is complete, you can move on and read what are the next instructions and answer this test your knowledge. So let's test our knowledge. It says that through which of the following ways you can create a VM instance in the compute engine: the G-Cloud command line tool or the Cloud console. We can do it by either of the two ways or both the ways. So we'll click on that and submit. Yes, perfectly. So we can create a VM instance using the G-Cloud command line tool as well as the Cloud console. So we have now earned this badge and we can successfully end our lab also. We'll click on the end lab and this will ask you that you're all done, and if you end this lab you'll all lose your work. So if you are done with the lab, just remember to always end your lab and submit it, otherwise your progress won't be counted. Let's give a rating to this lab and then submit. So now you can move on to the next lab that you have to complete. For that, again navigate to the same cloud syllabus, move to the program syllabus, select the skill batch, create and manage cloud resources, and you'll get to see a green tick over here. The green tick signifies that you have successfully completed your lab and are ready to move on to the next step. Now there's a or between these two labs. So this means that you need to complete either of the two labs. You can complete creating a virtual machine lab, or you can complete Compute Engine Quick Start Windows lab. There's no necessity that you need to complete both the labs. If there's a or, it's your choice whether you want to complete lab 1 or lab 2. Then similarly you need to complete the next labs, that is getting started with Google Cloud Shell and G Cloud. Then comes the Kubernetes engine, quick start. Then comes the setup network and HTTP load balancers. And then comes the create and manage cloud resources challenge lab. Now what is a challenge lab? A challenge lab is a very special lab This lab judges you on the basis of what you have learned previously in your previous labs. In this particular challenge lab, you won't be getting any documentation to read from. And then follow up as you are doing previously. You'll be given 3 tasks and you need to perform these tasks in order to earn your badge. Remember, there will be no documentation. You have to use your skills that you have learned by completing all those previous labs. There will be no solutions and there will be no commands that you can copy and paste into the GCP platform as you were doing previously. So ultimately, you need to apply your knowledge, what you have learned previously, and complete it in order to earn your first skill badge. If you don't complete this lab, you won't be entitled to the skill badge. So now when you have completed your first skill badge, you can move on to your next skill badge. That means you will come here, and now that you have earned this first skill badge, you'll go on to the second skill badge and perform all these labs in order to gain your second skill badge. When you're going to perform this challenge lab, only then you'll be getting the next skill badge. So ultimately, again you have to learn from all these labs and then apply your knowledge in this challenge lab in order to get your skill badge. So that's all for this session. So now what happens after you complete all these labs? You will get a huge knowledge about Google Cloud and how all the services in GCP works. And next, you will receive rewards for the hard work you all have done. The participants who will be completing track 1 or track 2 will get a t-shirt and a sticker sheet. The participants who will complete both the tracks, that means track 1 and track 2, will get a t-shirt and a school bag, a water bottle and a sticker sheet. But what if we get stuck while completing the labs? Worry not. We'll be having doubt sessions every Tuesday in the evening to resolve all your doubts on a one-on-one session through a Google form that will be made available to you on the WhatsApp group description that will be created for your ease. Thank you so much for being so patient. This was the first Cloud Study Jam session and I hope this will help you. And I also hope that you will be able to complete all the labs now. So thank you so much. Let's meet again in the next session next Tuesday. Till then, bye bye.